Welcome back, everybody, for another AoE2 DE campaign speedrun. And I promise we're gonna get to into China. But first, I ended up getting another world record today for Pax Mongolica. So I wanted to record this and upload this so I could submit it for posterity, so that my record could be beaten in, 10 minutes, just like for the promise. For this one, the time I got was pretty good, but I think it shouldn't be maybe too hard for people to do better. So if you're interested in doing this one, it shouldn't be that hard of a record to beat. But of course, without further ado, let's get into the scenario overview. So this one is quite straightforward. You have a base here, you even have some towers and stuff, and you are tasked with defeating Hungary. Now, Hungary can be defeated by just destroying their 2 castles and 2 town centers. So, behind door number 1, you have a castle here, a castle here, a town center here, and a town center here. So really, that's it. There are only 2 players in the scenario, you and Hungary. So it's pretty straightforward what you gotta do. If you look at your starting resources, you got 500, 500, 500, 200, with the 200 being gold. And so it's, just gotta go snipe the buildings. So with that said, what are we gonna do? So we're gonna start by gathering stone, just enough for a castle, with these 5 villagers. And then we have a lot of food to start with, so we'll be sending off our initial villagers to go gather some wood and some gold, because as you can imagine, we will be making lots of trebs and mangudai. And that's really it. We don't really get any upgrades or anything like that. Once we have enough stone for a castle, we're going to be sending 1 villager to go build said castle right around here. And that will give us 2 castles worth of production, and we will primarily use this castle for mangudai production and this castle for trebuchet production, although we will be starting with a trebuchet of our own. And then we'll be sending the rest of those villagers to start gathering from these sheep. Personally, I gather from just these sheep. That gets you up to around enough food for, 20-some villagers, low 20s. And then just have them all end up on wood and gold once the sheep run out, for just more trebs, more mangudai. So at around 6 minutes and 20 seconds, Hungary will charge and attack you. And all you need to do is just kind of debate their army as best you can, and then just, kill them with your mangudai, and mostly have them run into your castle. That's why you build the castle on the hill. And then from there, it's really straightforward, honestly. We do have these saboteurs. Should have talked about them earlier. So you got 10 saboteurs, and we're going to be using them to destroy the town centers, because as it happens, you have 5 saboteurs needed to destroy 1 town center. So with 10 total, you send 5 this way, and you send 5 this way. So really, all we're going to be doing is just trebbing down these 2 towers here, coming on forward, trebbing down this castle, trebbing down these 2 towers, trebbing down this bombard tower, opening the gate, and then using the rest of our trebs for destroying the castle. And then at that point, we send in the saboteurs. Oh yeah, so one more thing is that you do kind of want to keep up trebuchet production from this castle, so you're going to end up with 5 or 6 in total. It's just, the more trebs the merrier, right? So now, let's get into the scenario. So here we are, starting off the scenario, already misclicking with the mangudai because we're super great, but it doesn't really matter. In the early game, you're just kind of waiting, so just focus on getting your economy up as efficiently as possible, he said as his villagers are bugging out. And this isn't a super refined build order or anything, that's why I'm saying my time is actually going to be quite beatable, but as it happens right now, it is a world record, so just already starting to mine some gold, chop some wood, have everyone just kind of hang out over here while we are waiting for the charge of Hungary. So you can see that we've actually spent all of our resources except our stone. Got a trebuchet on the way, just to have, as many trebuchets as quickly as possible. That's going to be the main factor behind allowing you to finish the scenario quickly. So like I said, you mined just enough stone for 1 castle, send 1 villager to build that 1 castle, and that's going to give you all of the production you're going to need. And because you start with so much food, you really don't need to worry about having villagers on food right away. You can just focus on gathering that wood and gold that you're going to need for the grand total of 2 units that you make. So yeah, just trundling forward. Like I said, around 6 minutes, 20 seconds-ish, they will attack you. I have 6 villagers on sheep, just kind of like you would in a multiplayer game, just to make sure that we can sustain production. Guess just, you know, kill the random crossbowman, one fewer enemy unit. Really, there's not a whole lot of thought being put into that. Maybe you could go for deer instead of sheep, but I didn't really think it was worth the wood investment in building a mill. Maybe you could push the deer. That might be one thing you could do to be a little bit more efficient, but I'm lazy. And you only need to have the one villager building the castle because, well, if you have the villager build the castle right away, it is going to finish just in time for them to actually start attacking you, and they won't actually attack you before 6 minutes, 20 seconds or whatever, unless you, like, trigger them ahead of time. And, of course, I multi-sheep because I am super good at Age of Empires 2. So just chilling, just waiting, sending villagers onto gold. There might be like a super efficient way of doing it, but I just kind of see what resource I need a little bit more of, and then send a villager to that resource. Queuing up a trebuchet as soon as I have the resources, and just getting myself ready for the incoming invasion across the Sajo River. And once we gather all the food, we're just going to send everybody to Wood and Gold. We're going to have like maybe 12, 13 villagers or so on each of the two resources. So we just won't even have any more food production, or food income, I guess, because we don't need it. Just more random units coming forward. Castle is done, and you can see that we are finishing the castle just in the nick of time. And there you go, charge right away. Now, once they charge, I'm not sure if you like need to do this, but something I found some success with is launching one trebuchet rock at the guard tower there, or keep, or whatever that is. Magyars only get guard towers, but those might be keeps. So yeah, sending everyone over to Wood and Gold, but I do launch the one trebuchet rock for the purpose of causing the army to bug out a little bit, because they're going to want to try and focus the trebuchet, but your army and stuff is going to be in the way, so they won't let that happen. Castle will tank a little bit of treb fire, but that is okay. Yeah, you can see here the Cavalier and stuff trying to run right past and snipe our trebuchet, but we are not going to let that happen, and they're just kind of suiciding themselves on to my castle. They almost end up getting a trebuchet, but not today. And of course, Mangudai bonus versus Siege is going to be very important here. And everything is going to be getting cleaned up, and at that point we can really start our invasion. And just doing our very best to make sure we constantly have... We make sure we have a Treb in the queue, and then use all of our leftover Wood and Gold to just queue up more and more Mangudai. Because you do need to do a fair amount of actually, you know, fighting of the enemy, trying to make sure our trebuchets don't bug out, rather unsuccessfully, but such is life. Yeah, I think those are keeps. Magyar Hussar coming in, hopefully we snipe that. I'm pretty sure we do. Yeah. I've tried some ways, yeah, they're keeps. They're definitely keeps. I knew that the whole time. Cheaters, Magyars don't get keeps.
Subotai should be here.
Subotai will not be here in time. I think we get pretty lucky here, and the trebuchet ends up missing. Yeah, so we could have lost one of our trebuchets there, and that would have slowed us down more. Also, I'm pretty sure they're trying to, like, siege up on a house or something. I'm not really too sure, but now we're going to be going to that hill right there, and that will give us, I guess, the space we need, as well as the high ground advantage we're going to need to take down the castle. We have 5 trebuchets at this point. Like I said, the more trebuchets, the better. You're just doing things that much more quickly. There's trebuchet number 6. Also, it's very likely that you're going to lose some trebuchets at some point, just, you know, to random treb fire or whatever. So, having just that many more trebuchets helps out a lot. You can also see that they've actually researched hoardings already, so they have a lot of HP on those guys. But one more volley will do the trick, and then we just keep on keeping on. Now we're going to end up trying to split our trebuchets somewhat efficiently between attacking the 2 keeps, the gate, and the bombard tower, and they do, I think, a pretty decent job at that, using our units to snipe any sort of reinforcements, as well as especially the trebuchets. Again, here getting a little bit lucky in terms of the trebuchet of Hungary missing, but, you know, luck is needed in those speedruns. That's why you have a bajillion attempts that you try. So yeah, guard towers are down. peeps, I guess. Oh yeah, here you can see me like the troops are targeting the houses because they're dumb. So there you can already see right away, there's some time you can save. So, gate's gonna go down. Gate's gonna go down. Oh yeah, I'm like, Trebs, fire! Why aren't you firing? But they do eventually. Our Mangudai numbers are looking a little bit low, but so are the enemy unit numbers. You could probably have our reinforcements coming in a bit more quickly. And you can just see all the little space you have for optimization. And you're gonna need all the Trebs in the world to take down that big old castle. So just make sure you split your Saboteurs 5 and 5. And you need to make sure here, this is actually really important, that you're baiting the castle fire with something, because the Saboteurs do have to run through the range of the castle. So that's why we just send in our Mangudai just to tank the fire. You know, you've given your lives for the cause. And, you know, there goes number 1, and then there goes number 2. The castle is already destroyed, and then we will be winning the scenario. And Genghis Khan, in general. Well, actually, no, I still need to upload the Into China replay thingy. Don't worry, that'll happen. And of course, in typical campaign fashion, it takes a little while for them to resign, but there we go, 1548, around 11 seconds faster, I believe, from the world record. So that was Pax Mongolica, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. Into China, like I said, will be coming soon, probably in a couple days or so, but then we will be done with Genghis Khan finally, in a very roundabout manner. So that'll be fun. We got a couple world records here and there. We tied the world record here, and then it was immediately beaten. We still have the world record here, as far as I know. We got a world record here, and it was beaten. And then we got a world record here, and it will probably be beaten quite soon. So overall, we did pretty well, and then we will be going on after that to Barbarossa, naturally, as that will be our final Age of Kings campaign. But, of course, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.